Kyrie Irving, man. Like, I never seen so many overseers in my life. Stephen A. Smith like came out like, well, I think earlier in the week, like Steve, they said you can't play with us, man. Sit your black ass home. You can't play. I guess they're gonna give him half the money, but they said no, you can't play because you can't play in the home games. Now, a lot of people were speculating, was he gonna fold? I knew when they said, nah, you can't come around. That I knew he wasn't coming. I was like, he's not folded. He don't want none of that shit. So he didn't say anything till yesterday. So all week, ESPN was just loading the clips. And Stephen A. Smith, man, that's an embarrassment what this nigga was doing. 2 straight days. 2 straight days. How is Whitlock the realest nigga in the room? How is Jay Williams the realest nigga in the room? Stephen A. Smith embarrassing, man. That shit was crazy. That was shit. That was out of hand. That was crazy. He was talking greasy about him, calling him stupid, this, that, and the third. Like, there's no reason for that.
Was he doing this on his own recognizance, or was the white liberal throwing him some shekels underneath the table saying, hey, Steve, get out here, go get this Negro in check? Or does Steve have the foresight to say, I know what Massa want, so I'm going to give him what he want? Well, what's the play here?
Steve been at ESPN for a while. He know what to do. He know what to do. You don't have to tell. White man don't even have to tell Stephen A. Smith to play. Stephen like they break the huddle like, oh, I got this, man.
He walk into work, first one in the office. I got him, Massa. I think you're right.
I was saying earlier today, it's like it was back in the plantation. Massa whooping one of these slaves. The one of the slaves, he tried to buck break one of his slaves, whipping one of the slaves. Here comes Stephen A. Massa, is your arm tied? Let me get the whip, Massa. I'll whip him for you. You know what I mean? This was what was going on today.
Yeah.
This is what type time Stephen A. Smith was on today.
Yeah. And yesterday.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to Jay Williams, though, holding it down. Yeah. From Jersey.
Is he? He's from Jersey too?
Jersey.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. We birth ballers. That's what we do. We birth ballers. But he stood 10 toes down and he went at it. Hey, yo, press 1 in the chat if that Don DeMarco is too loud. 2 if it's just, no, 1 if it's just right. 2 if it's too loud. I'm trying to get these sound volumes right. But nah, he went at it. You saw him going at it with Stephen A., right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kept it 100. He even looked a little bit upset too, which made me happy to see. Jay Wills looked very passionate in his speech. Now, the part that had me bugging was when Stephen A. was like, he said, well, have there been any deaths? Any deaths from the vacation? And they was like, oh, wait, okay, change the subject. The white woman hopped in the conversation. She wasn't even on screen. She was like, all right, now, I think we went too far. Kendrick Perkins, I think that was in the middle. He was like, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, I clipped that because, yeah, it's the funniest shit ever. Because Stephen A. Smith knew he was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. He was like, oh, well, yeah. He backed up real quick because Jay was like, well, I don't want to talk about it.
Since you asked. And he was about to go into it too. He's about to get that detailed. He's about to talk about Vaz and all of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Almost.
But then Kyrie came out last night on Instagram. Nigga said God body. When's the last time you heard God body from somebody?
I haven't heard God body in a while. That's supreme Hotep crypto language right there. I think it was the 90s since I heard that.
I would not gonna lie. When he said God body, I was like, bro, no, that's my dog right there.
You know he Hotep. What did he say?
Oh man, I wish I had a fucking clip, but he was just talking about. He said a whole bunch of stuff. He was talking about
No, what
how
he say in reference to God body?
we only have one body that we're given. You know, we got to protect the God body. You know what I'm saying? We're God body. You know, he was referencing himself. You know, kings of gods of the earth and shit like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, Allah. You know what I mean?
Arm, leg, arm, head.
That type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, God is man, man is God. You know what I mean? That type shit. That's why I think he was referring to. But he was talking about that. He was talking about that, you know, and it seemed to me he wanted to protect his body from, you know, some stuff he wasn't too sure about. And I don't blame him for doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think anybody should be mad that he's doing that. I just think like these guys are going overboard, man. Stephen A. just going overboard with this shit, man. This is like crazy. Like, damn that fucking bracket ball game, man. Fuck it. I mean, if he wants to, you know, protect his body, then so be it.
Right.
And that's will be all right.
Right. Right.
They better trade him or do something. Man, they talk about they're not offering him extension and shit like that. They were saying the Instagram was muting his voice and shit like that. It was playing with his shit.
It was cutting him off. Yeah.
Yeah, man. They watching. You